In this video segment, I will explain and demonstrate to you how to use Excel 2007 or Excel 2010 to construct a graph, measure its slope, copy and paste it onto a Word document. I am using Excel 2007, but those who have Excel 2010 will have the same system, and there's not much difference between the instructions I'm giving for 2007 and those for 2010. To begin with, open a blank Excel sheet and enter your X values under column A and your Y values under column B. For example, I have my X values as 1.2, 2.4, 3.6, 4.8 and 5, and my corresponding Y values are 5.9, 12.8, 21.3, 30.4 and 40.1. So once again, your X values must be the first column and your Y values must be the second column. Alright, now once you have them, select the X and Y values by dragging the mouse over these values, and once they are selected, you go to the pull down menu Insert, and under Insert we are going to have Insert a Graph, and we have all kinds of graphs in here. What we need is the scatter plot. So click on Scatter and select the first scatter type. Alright, click on that. And now here you already have the points marked, and there is a series 1. We are only doing 1, therefore there is no need for the series 1. Just click on it and take it away, so that you got the graph doing the complete portion of the graphing window. Alright, now once you did this, you want to do a little housekeeping. That is, you need to give a title for the graph, you need to label your axis. Alright, in order to do that, we go to the Layout menu. Now you've got to watch all these steps. Go to Layout menu and select Chart Title. Alright, click on it and choose Centered Overlay Title. Now, let's go to Above Chart. We need to give a title Above Chart. Choose that, and once you are there, select the chart title by clicking and dragging your mouse and give it a title. Let's say this is a mass against volume graph. So mass volume graph is our title. Alright, we now want to give a title for the x-axis. So we go back to the Layout menu and choose Axis Titles. And in there you got Primary Horizontal Axis Title, and we choose Title Below Axis. And again, click inside the box, drag and select the axis title and give a title. What is the quantity you are actually drawing on the x-axis? Let's call it volume, and the volume has a unit that is milliliter. Now the unit must accompany any physical quantity. Alright, we now go back to the axis title. We want to give a title to the primary vertical axis. And where do you want it? Let's use Rotate Title. Now that's an advantage. Let's see how that's going to look like. Again, choose it, Now what is our title? Let's call it mass measured in gram. Now look at the advantage of the rotated title. So we have now the titles, we have the axis labeled, and make sure that your values are correct. Your volumes go from, say, 0 to, there you go, 0 to 6, and your mass values go from 0 to 45. That is within the range of our values. And now we want to introduce the trend line for this. Now remember, the purpose in drawing your graph is to obtain an average value for all the trials, and that can be obtained by drawing a trend line. And on the layout menu again, if you look on to the right, choose trend line. See where my mouse arrow is. Trend line. And now choose more trend line options. That is the very bottom. More trend line options. And choose display equation on the chart. Click that and click close, and that will introduce the trend line. Also it will give you the equation of the line. Now this is the regression equation of this line. This is of the form y equal to mx plus b. That means this quantity 8.19 is the slope of this graph. Well, the computer did the slope of the graph, but I want you to calculate the slope of the graph on your own. Alright, watch how I'm going to do that. In order to measure the slope of this graph, first we choose two convenient x values. Let's choose x equal to 2 milliliter and x equal to 4 milliliter. And we need to draw a vertical line from that x value to touch the graph at a particular point. Alright, let's go to insert. In order to draw a line, we need to go to insert again and access the shapes. See where my mouse arrow is. Shapes, and you have all kinds of shapes in there so that you can draw any kind of diagram you want. We want a straight line. So choose the line, and from x equal to 2, draw a vertical line to touch the graph at a point. Now, you can actually edit that line. If you come up here, shape of outline. Now, if you click there and look at the weight, you can actually change the thickness of the line. Change the thickness, and also, if you come to the shape of the line, you can change the color of the line. Alright, so you got a vertical line there. Also, I would like it to be broken line. So if you go back to the outline, you can, well, you choose dashes and make the line made of dashes. Okay, now do the same thing for x equal to 4. Now, if you notice, this line is selected. So if I go to the home menu and copy that line and say paste it. Now, you can see that line is pasted at the edge of the graph. And you can bring it over here, place it at x equal to 4, and hold it at the top and extend it. You have now the same line at x equal to 4. Alright, let's also copy it one more time, paste it one more time, and bring it over this point and hold it at the top and make it a horizontal line. Look at that. I have now a horizontal line. The length of this horizontal line is our delta x, the change in the x value. Now, the delta X value, or in this case the change in the volume value that we call delta V, is 4 minus 2, and I'm going to write it below that horizontal line. Alright, in order to do that I need a text box, and to pick the text box I go back to the insert menu and look where I'm pointing now. I have the text box there. Alright, let's see if I can do a text box. So click on the text box and click anywhere on the graph and make your box. Now, what is it that you're going to write there? That will be 4 milliliter minus 2 milliliter, or we can say 4 minus 2 equal to 2 milliliter, and that is your delta X. Let's give this a little color. So click on the box and click on that red color there, that will be the alphabet color, and make it block so that it stands out. Now you can actually click on it and move it to where you want. So let's place it there. This is 2 milliliter. And now you also want delta Y. Now that means you need to know the Y values corresponding to this point and this point. How do you do that? Well, we need horizontal lines over there. So what I can do is, you see I just clicked on this horizontal line. I can copy it and paste it. Now let's click outside and paste it. Did we get the line pasted? Now it's actually pasted right on top of the same line. So what all we need to do is click on it and take it away like this. So keep it there. That is the point that we need to obtain the Y value, and stretch it to touch the Y axis. There you go. And again, if you paste it one more time, you can see that line is again come on top of the old one, and stretch it across. Now what is that Y value? This is 25, that is 30. So this is more like, what do you think, 27? I think it's more like 27.5. And this is more like 11. So our delta Y is 27.5 minus 11. Let's write that. And how do we write it? Go to Insert menu and select the text box and make a text box, and it will be 27.5 minus 11. And what is 27.5 minus 11? That will be 16.5. What is the unit? Gram. And that is delta Y. Let's give it a color and make it bold. Alright, and now move it and keep it over here. So our delta Y is 16.5 gram. Our delta X is 2 milliliter. And therefore, what is the slope? Let's get another text box. Alright, click Insert again, text box, and make a text box over here. And so we will say slope equal to, what is, how do you find the slope? Slope is delta Y, that is 16.5 gram, divided by delta X, that is 2 milliliter. So that will be, alright, let's, that's equal to 16.5 gram divided by 2 milliliter, and that will be equal to, what is 16. What is 16.5? I wrote 18. Let me change it to 16. 16.5 divided by 2 milliliter is 8.25. 8.25 gram per milliliter. That is the slope value. Alright, let's give it a color. Let's give it a green color this time and make it bold. And you can see, keep it over there. And the graph really looks very good now, isn't it? Now look at the difference. There is hardly any difference between the calculated slope and what the computer gave you. The computer gave you a roughly 8.2, and from calculation we got 8.25. That's very good. That's the way to calculate the slope. And once this is all done, now see what I'm doing. Click on the outside of the graph so that it is completely selected. And now click on copy. So you have now copied the graph, and you can go to a Word document and paste it onto this Word document. Now you can see that graph is now pasted on the Word document. Now, although you don't see the lower boundary line, when you print it, that will be there. So this is how you construct a graph on Excel 2007 or 2010, then measure its slope, copy the graph, and paste it onto a Word document. Alright, I hope you understood this. Now watch this movie a couple of times and practice it several times so that you understand how this is done.